evolve huge administrative hierarchies, exhibition, education, support, management, and so on, and more on instituting in the ancient sense of the word of founding and supporting, on instituting creative practice. So we started to play, risk, cooperate, research, and rapidly prototype, not only exhibitions and research projects, but ourselves. Some values were lost, which is always painful, and yet others were produced, and those most relevant maintained, nurtured, and cherished. Now, we learned to invest long-term, without regard for an interested return. And that's how we devolved locally and networked globally. Now, we've had some failures. Either exhibitions couldn't convene the necessary resources, or we made mistakes. But as an imminent institution, most experiences were productive. I'm not sure if that jump cut thread answered your query.
Sort of.
The short answer could be that artists have transformed Moderna, and we in turn transformed them.
Okay. But that last sound bit is rather banal, although the thread is not uninteresting.
Ironically, our playful devolution of Moderna 2 reanimated the historical collection displayed in version 1. We freed art artifacts from their function of recounting the history of 20th century art, however alternative, discontinuous, or full of omissions we imagine that thread to be. And once free, they engaged with real-time discursive transactions. They became live again, contested nodes and competing transactions of unsettled bodies of knowledge.
I'm not sure I'm following this. As time is running out and there's so much to cover, I just wonder if you could you recall, even briefly, some beacon exhibitions, like transactional aesthetics or the ecology of fear?
Radslan's ecology, or the ecology of fear, was timely given the viral pandemic throughout DNA storage. So many systems were compromised, and the various wars that were being waged against difference and public attention for material resources, energy. And I guess the same with transactional aesthetics. It was the right moment to be participating in the production of local social enterprise and well-being initiatives.
Could you also just mention the legendary Ararat, alternative research in architecture, resource, art and technology exhibited at Moderna in 1976, which you revisited on its 50th anniversary in 2026. From composite, I can see archive materials. They're present.
Well, there's not much to add. Obviously, the first version of Ararat explored appropriate local technologies for buildings and urban systems using sustainable resources. In 1976, this was the beginning of our understanding of a global ecology and of the finite nature of mineral resources, especially carbon. Given our population reached 8 billion in 2026, it was vital to revisit the exhibition, to somehow take stock. Well, the first shock was that so little of the initial exhibition was recoverable. We invested in reconstruction and archival research. It's all public domain composite now. And the second was the realization that so little of the source exhibition had had any real effect. We suspect a serious flaw in the exhibitionary form.
The lack of resources from those early exhibitions is always disheartening. It's hard to imagine a time before even rudimentary public domain meshworks, embedded devices, and semantic interfaces.
Well, one of the great outcomes of the Moderna Golden Jubilee celebrations in 2008 is that they revisited and reflected on the preceding 50 years. We recently found shadow traces of a Moderna history book, and for reasons that are not entirely clear, it remained unpublished during the Jubilee celebrations, so we intend to issue a centenary publication. We'll be sure to send you a copy.
I see we've overrun. I'm so sorry. I just wonder before we disconnect, what is Moderna resourcing in the near future?
Well, for us, there are some beautiful assemblies emerging. Real-time consensus is moving from a local to a regional scale. Triangle in the African multitude is distributing amazing regenerative medical technologies. Renewable energy has moved through the 74% threshold. Live, almost retro music performance is popular again. Nanotechnology has come of age, and one-to-one molecular replication will soon be enabled, linked to scanning technology hardwired to the manufactories in the Asian network. Outside of heritage, singularity will be overwritten by difference. Now that's exciting.
Exciting indeed. Thank you so much, Ian. It's been a privilege. Enjoy the centenary celebrations, and we'll all be there with you in spirit. 再见, goodbye.
Thank you, Miss Chan. Goodbye. 再见. Heido.